VaxiKnow is an easy-to-use 15-minute rapid test that detects relative amounts of antibodies to canine parvovirus, adenovirus, and distemper. It is intended for use on dogs at least 1 week past their initial vaccination. The assay has not been tested on non-vaccinated animals. The kit should be stored refrigerated between 2 and 8 degrees Celsius. Before starting the test, remove the kit from the refrigerator and allow it to warm up to room temperature, 15 to 30 degrees Celsius. Besides your sample, you will need a marker, gloves, microcentrifuge vial holder, and a timer. The kit has everything else to run the assay. Begin by removing components and place them in front of you. Check to see that you have 1 violet cap tube of conjugate stock, blue loops, plastic transfer pipettes, blue cap tubes for making the sample dilution, yellow cap tubes for making the conjugate dilution, test cassettes in foil pouches. Open the foil pouch and remove the test cassette. Write the pet's name on the front of the test cassette and on one each blue and yellow cap tube. Place the tubes in the vial holder. Next, remove the cap from the yellow tube. Hold the violet top of the conjugate concentrate, flick the bottom of the vial for 15 seconds to thoroughly mix the conjugate. Using a plastic pipette, remove 1 drop from the violet cap tube and place in the yellow capped tube. Replace any unused conjugate back into the violet cap tube, replace the cap, and dispose of the transfer pipette. You will need the conjugate for future tests. Put the conjugate back in the box. Replace the yellow cap on the vial and mix for at least 15 seconds. Now make the sample solution by removing the blue cap from the tube. Using the loop, saturate the loop into the serum or plasma section of the sample. Remove the loop from the sample tube and place it into the blue capped vial. Replace the cap on the blue vial. Mix for 15 seconds. Now you are ready to run the assay. Open the front page by lifting the cover. Using a new transfer pipette, add 2 drops from the blue vial into the opening. Dispose of the pipette. Be careful to make sure the drops do not touch the outer edges of the cassette. Set the timer for 5 minutes. After the 5-minute sample incubation time is complete, go to the second page. Open the yellow capped tube. Using a new transfer pipette, add 4 drops from the yellow vial onto the very bottom of the test strip. Set the timer for 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes, open the next page to read the results. The results are interpreted visually. First, look at the control line at the very top of the window. If you see the control line, the test is valid. Now look at each of the test lines and compare the color density to the control line. If the test line is as dark or darker than the control line, revaccination is not recommended. If the control line is visible and the test line does not produce a clear line as dark or darker than the control line, it is a negative result and revaccination is recommended. If there is no control line, the test is invalid. Any invalid test should be repeated. To confirm a valid test, the control line should be obvious and consistent. Then look at each test line to determine if that line is as dark or darker than the control line. If the line of parvovirus is as dark or darker than the control line, then your canine has a relative titer of at least 1 to 80. If the line of distemper is as dark or darker than the control line, that indicates a relative titer of at least 1 to 32. If the line of adenovirus is as dark or darker than the control line, then the relative titer is at least 1 to 32. That's it. You're done. VaxiKnow is a product of SafePath Labs.